Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of PlayStation Pursuit. I don't have a lot of games this week, and it's been a while for me since I've done a PlayStation Pursuit, but for you guys, it's been just... this episode is coming after one I did last week. It's because I filmed a lot at once and took a break before filming this one, and had to get some more games too, so for you guys, it's just going to be another episode, but for me, I was like just about ready to say, well, it sure has been a while. But anyway, like I said, I don't have too many, but I have some interesting other stuff besides games. And then, of course, I'll talk about some of my favorite games on the PlayStation as well, so stick around. So the first PlayStation game I got this week, I actually bought this on eBay, and I really want to find these games in the wild or from friends or, going game hunting rather than just going online, click, 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 and, going through and getting every game I want for the PlayStation. But this is one that I never see pop up. I haven't seen it since the first time I saw it, which was when I was in Buffalo at a store called Oogie Games, and I was there with my buddy Scott, Grimsey42, as you may know him as, and I almost picked it up there, but I was like, oh, and I'll hold off because I wasn't hardcore PlayStation collecting at the time. And I ended up waiting, trying to find it elsewhere, and then I think Alpha Omega Sin, who's another YouTuber, picked it up, that very copy up when he visited Scott in Buffalo. So I've wanted it for a long time, and it's actually the first game on the PlayStation in a series that I talked about recently for one of my PlayStation favorites. The game is Runabout 2. And the game that I talked about that was one of my favorites is Felony 1179. So I think this came out first, but I never played this one before, so I was really excited. But it's a similar style game where you're driving through, accomplishing goals in a city, causing mayhem, driving through displays and buildings and all that stuff. So I like the series, and I'm excited to see what this one's like. So very cool to find that. And then I got two more games at the famed Sound Go Round store that I've talked about many times, a couple episodes back, and then in one of my road trip episodes recently, I had a spur of the moment trip there. This one was actually a trip that I took for work. I had to go right down to Vestal, which is in the Binghamton area, for my job, and so I had to stop there, and pick up a few games. So they're both two games I've looked at for a long time and really wanted. So the first one is a sequel. I don't have the first one on PlayStation, and the game is called Reloaded. So there's Loaded on the PS1. And it's supposed to be a really over-the-top, violent, top-down action game, I believe. I don't know if I've played this before. It looks like I have, maybe in a demo or maybe just back in the day, but it could just be that it's very familiar in its style of gameplay. But glad to have that one in great condition, and I got it for really cheap. And then another one I got, this looks really cool. This is an isometric action game. I watched Classic Game Room's review of it a while back, and it looked really, really cool, up my alley. And it's called Project Overkill. And it's a Konami game in very, very good shape. So very happy to have that one. Isometric camera angle is always cool. I like old school isometric games. So very happy to have that. We're going to take a quick break, talk about some PlayStation favorites, and then when I come back, I'll show you one more game and then a couple little PlayStation extras that I got this week. Okay, so the first PlayStation favorite I wanted to talk about is one of my favorite RPGs that I've played that I haven't finished. So I played this a lot back in the day, probably renting it, and then I bought it, and I haven't played it since I bought it. So I'm looking forward to diving back in, but I think it brings a lot of great stuff to the genre, and I wanted to talk about it. The game is the first Grandia game, and what's cool about this game, it has kind of like a 3D isometric camera angle that can be rotated 360 degrees, and all the characters are sprites, whether it's yourself, enemies, or non-playable characters. So it has a really cool art style, just really crisp graphics and colors, and it does blend the 3D and 2D well in this game. Gameplay wise, one of the reasons I really like this game was the battle system. It's really fast paced, in the era of turn-based fighting games, and even though it still is turn-based, it has this time meter kind of thing that shows whose turn it's going to be coming up. Kind of the stuff you see later RPGs borrow from and evolve from was this. This was the first one I played that had this kind of battle system. It's very fast paced. You just get a really good rhythm going in the battles, and combining the different moves they have and powers and everything, it really, really made for a super fun battle system. Now, another thing I really liked about this game is that it has really big and robust towns, which I've mentioned in the past. That's one of my favorite things in an RPG. If it has good towns, I'll probably like the RPG, even if it has flaws elsewhere. And this game, for sure, has great towns. It's got a nice full color booklet and some really cool disc art, and really cool character design. And there's kind of like, a good script, good humor throughout the game. And I'm not talking about the ice cream. So I was very, very excited to play this back in the day, and I am definitely looking forward to getting back into this and finally finishing it once and for all. So the next game I wanted to talk about is a point-and-click adventure game, and I picked this up. I'm trying to remember. I actually first played it on the Saturn, because it's on the Saturn as well. It's probably on the PC as well, because it's a point-and-click adventure, which there were a lot of them on the PC. But I forgot where I picked this up. Actually, I think I remember. I got it from a rental store that I used to rent from, and they were selling all their games for $5 each. I got it back in the day then, and I beat it in like a couple days, maybe a day or two. But a lot of these games are kind of shorter, but I still really liked it. And it's called Blazing Dragons. Now you'll see it says starring the voices of Terry Jones and Cheech Marin, so some names that are well known. And then it also says Terry Jones helped put it together, I think, too. He wrote it or something like that too. So it's got some of that, Monty Python style dialogue and stuff. And you play as a cool dragon. I'm trying to think. I can't remember what his name is. I don't know if it tells on here. Nope, it doesn't say. Oh, but it does have Harry Shearer as a voice too, who's another fantastic actor. But it's a really cool game. It's neat because it's in that medieval setting of where, you play as a dragon, obviously, and there's Knights of the Round Table. Cheech Marin is an evil knight who becomes kind of like your nemesis throughout the game. But it's got really cool puzzles. Some of them are in those obscure point-and-click adventure style where you kind of have to think outside of the box to do it. But then there's other ones that are those kind of puzzles that you're like, oh, duh, that's right in my face, but I didn't really think about it. And I think where the comedy really shines in this game, it's got good writing and stuff, but if you're like me when you play point-and-click adventures, or even more modern adventure games like Life is Strange on PS4 and Xbox One, I'm big on just interacting with everything. I go up to everything and I see what the character says about everything in the environment. It's one of the things I loved in Monkey Island series, and that's one of the things I really love about this game. You go up to stuff, and just his commentary on the world, the people, the items, the places you go, is just really funny, and I think it adds a lot to this style of game. When your character speaks to to the player about things, it's like you're in the character's head as they're observing the world around them. And I'm a big fan of observational humor, so that's probably another reason why I like it. But I like it when games in the genre do it, and this game does it really well. And it's got really nice sprite work, cool graphics, and it's point-and-click adventure, so it's static backgrounds, you move around, but it has really cool animation and little cinematics between a lot of the stuff and everything too. So like I said, it's kind of a shorter game, but if you like this style of game, or you're interested in trying it, or maybe delving into it for the first time, this wouldn't be a bad starting point for it. So check it out and see if you like it. It's like 90 degrees in the game room right now, which isn't good for the games, but gotta do what I can right now. But anyway, this game came to me from a good friend of mine who actually hooked me up maybe maybe episode 8 or so. I got the Duke Nukem games that were set aside from this one particular friend. His name's Rich. Thank you, Rich, if you're watching. And he gave me a quick message on Facebook and said, hey, I got this one game. I don't know if you have it. And I can give it to you for a really good price. And he really hooked me up. Like, he gave me a bro price. And I have the game in jewel case, and I've actually talked about it before, but I never had this long box version, and I'm super excited to have it. It's in fantastic shape, and that is In the Hunt. Awesome game. I've talked about it at length before, but I wanted to show off the awesome condition, except for the P, which I mentioned a couple episodes ago. It seems like people from rental stores and stuff wrote P in their PlayStation games all the time. But other than that, fantastic shape, and it's one of those cool ones that has the back art. The only condition thing is the little bit up here, like they always do, coming unglued. But I will be happy to fix that one up. So really, really excited. Super cool addition to the collection. Thank you so much, Rich. So that's all the games I have, because like I said, it's a small episode. But I have a couple other things that my good friend Alex from Voltage Video Games let me know came into the store, and he's like, hey, you might be interested in these. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. So I'm not going to open these. I'm going to leave these all sealed, because I don't need to open them, because I have open versions of these in different colors. But the first cool thing that I think are actually highly coveted to get these sealed are PlayStation colored memory cards. So I got the Island Blue and Emerald are the two colors, and they're really cool. They're sealed, and these are actually, I guess, from the PS2 era. They advertise that they work on PS2s as well, so I'm sure these aren't the first run of PlayStation memory cards sealed, but to have sealed packaging for the PlayStation accessories and stuff is definitely cool. Right up my alley. And speaking of sealed packaging for PS1 stuff, this is I'm even more excited about, because I know this is from way back, because it's not dual analog, it's not dual shock. This is a sealed original PlayStation controller, and I have one that came with my original system without the analog sticks, but I thought this was really cool, and he gave me a great deal on it, and was super excited to add this. So when this game room finally, I know I've been procrastinating, gets all cleaned up, and all my stuff, which I've sold a lot of stuff recently, once a lot of the stuff I'm selling is gone and I redo this whole room, you will probably see this hanging on the wall with the other sealed stuff, just to add to the cool PlayStation backdrop I'm going to go for. So looking forward to doing that. Alright, it's that time to add up the games. Only a few more extra, but for me it's been a while, so I have to go count the games, and well, not one by one. I'm not going to go, all right, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, but going through, I'm going to just check back real quick and see where I left off and add up what I got from here. Stick around. And the magic number this time is 505 PS1 games. So super excited. That awesome milestone in the last episode of Crossing 500 was super cool, and I'm glad to get a couple more games to add to the stack. So very, very cool. Thanks to Rich, thanks to Alex at Voltage, and thanks to Sound Go Around for always having games that I can pick up every time I go down there. So and thanks to all you for watching, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe this video so you can check out all my videos as they come out. And I have other stuff besides PlayStation Pursuit on the channel, so if you've only watched these episodes, you can also check for other stuff that I do from time to time as well. So appreciate you watching, and I will see you next week.